So I don't know if this is going to be the best setup, but I wanted to go through the trigrams and just kind of give my commentary. I haven't actually, it's easy enough. It's like quite literally, it's the most effortless thing you could possibly do. And it's easy enough, but I haven't gone through it yet. But yeah, I wanted to go through the trigrams and just because I haven't done all of them, or like I haven't consecutively done them, it will be insightful for me. But this is along the lines of theory crafting with a passive yin pose and an active yang pose, and going through and constructing the trigram, not just like having the bagua, like tai chi or qigong movements, but actually going through and defining almost as like really in the most formulaic sense, but um, as a binary system, to kind of give the outline of what the symbols mean, and then maybe how it translates both to the nervous system, but also to, um, how the brain, how the mind experience it. And so I'm just going to go through. I'm going to start with, and maybe you can't even see the full pose. It's really not so crazy. I'm on uneven ground again. I'm literally going to use a piece of wood to even my stance a little bit. But yeah, so we're going to start with heaven, which is three yang poses. So I'm just going to do the right left. Again, I don't necessarily know what is the best yang, but yang, yang, yang. So that's heaven. So in this depiction, it's clearly very active. And then thunder is underneath that. And so that is first line yang, yin, flexing the wrist to reset, and then yin. So yang, yin, yin. And then underneath that is, I believe, water. And so that is yin, yang, yin. And so I had actually, I just done that earlier today. And what was insightful about that is fire is yang, yin, yang. And that showed me, or at least an aspect of the insight of that, was that there's stillness in fire. And then for water, having it be the opposite, there's actually, it's stillness outside, but then it's action and engagement inside. And so again, it's yin, yang, yin. And if you think of this again, it's like, what is the nervous system doing when there's a movement from yin to yang? And this isn't to be theoretical. In fact, I'm trying to make it like as basic as possible with the most yin and the most yang pose, and with the least movement, so that even the elements are broken down to their elements. And so, yeah, similarly, like to see that fire actually has stillness inside of it, and water actually has movement or engagement, action inside of it. And that's the lines. It creates a little bit of a sandwich. And so then underneath that is mountain, which is yin, reset, yin, yang. So yin, yin, yang. And, pardon my poses, they might not be fierce, like I'm not trying to depict anything, but it's resting, action, engagement. And so that, again, it's like if we're thinking of it as a rhythm or cadence, setting a rhythm, it's like where in our life are we resting, engaged? When do we rest, engage? When are maybe not responding, responding. But even not responding might actually be, and so this is where you get into the parapsychology of it is, oh, I'm not going to respond to that, or I'm not going to react to that. Well, you might actually, it might be like a yin pose, it might be almost passive, but it's actually guarded. So there's a guard. So even if it's yin, it's actually still, or trying to represent or appear as yin, it's actually still trying to, it's actively guarded or actively defending itself. And so this is where playing with this kind of forces a level of honesty or integrity. Well, it doesn't force, it allows for a part of a form of honesty and integrity where it's like, oh, I actually am not, yin or passively relaxed. I'm actually have my guard up even more, or, just whatever we're encountering throughout the day. Because it's like, is it really a binary? Is there really duality? Is there really non-duality? All of that just kind of keeps adding up in our ideas of the world. But again, it's like, are you sipping the water or are you pouring it out? Are you sipping the water or are you pouring it out? Are you in yin, standing, and then not rejecting? And so this is why the simplicity of the movement is important, is it's like this is yang, but there's no complexity in the movement. So the body can't reject it. So it's just like, well, this is just engagement. And a lot of times people will be like, well, there needs to be complete effortlessness or complete relaxation. It's like, well, but you can actually find relaxation in this. And then all of a sudden, even if your guard is up, you can acknowledge it for what it is, and you can be relaxed in it, and you can know that you can go back to repose. And that is creating its own element. And it doesn't, and oddly enough, it doesn't even require the labels that are given to it, even from within the I Ching or, the philosophy surrounding Taoism. It actually is just the movement. It's just the action in action. And all of a sudden, you can begin to move without the psychic weight or emotional programming that may have been given to you. And, and so this is why it's an experiment, is because it's playing with a lot of different things, at least from my knowledge and understanding, that impact me on a daily basis. And I see impact the people around me, is how do we think about these deep philosophies, but then also how do we meet the world around us? And then do we try and cause the world around us to conform to a philosophy that we don't even know how to depict or speak about? But then we don't know how to speak about it, but we're plenty fine using all of the labels. And then using all the labels, we get backlash for it. So it's like, actually, this is engagement. This is passivity, which can be its own form of engagement. And then what we have, so we have earth. And so this is just yin. I might not even reset, but like, yin, yin, yin. And so that just feels not necessarily like waiting, but just like, what is it to be like the hexagram? I think that might be, that might be hexagram 43, assimilation, where it's like yin, 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 action. So you have almost two, because you have a single yang line, but a reception to a point, and then action, or yang. And so then even just the yang pose, because it's all action, just our cells being alive is action. And so to feel like, is this action? Is this engagement? Is this meeting? Is this presence? Is it projection? Like, whatever it is, like, this is yang, but it doesn't need to be anything. But it also doesn't need to be nothing either. And a lot of times, again, people will get so philosophically bound that their nothingness needs to be the destruction of everythingness. And so then they're not actually doing nothing, they're trying to destroy everything. And that's a lot more work. And then, or they might not be actively trying to destroy everything, but their nothingness is with the intention of the destruction of everything, which is equally as problematic. And so it's like, this is where it's like, actually, like, let's actually look at our intentions, good or bad, whatever, pure or impure. What is it? Because as I might be a good judge of other people's intentions, I might have very obscure, almost even deceptively obscure intentions, but I'm judging everyone else's intentions. But and I might even be looking at my own, but I'm looking at my own through the same judgment that I'm using to judge everyone else's intentions. And so if that isn't going to be a part of the color, and again, it's like all fine. It's all just a mural of things. It's all like a color of our experience, but it can really change up the reflection that we get from ourselves and from each other when we're being in that. And so this is finding the simplicity, like so simple that it's almost stupid. I mean, you can call it stupid, that's fine. But it's so simple that there is nothing but the pre-elemental or proto-elemental stage of engagement. And then, of course, it's like, well, but what is that really doing? Like, it's getting me no closer to like primordial awareness or primordial enlightenment or awakening, or, it's like, yeah, but it's a nice plaything. It's a nice way of letting yourself be fully lost in creation and a creator, and also fully present with yourself and with others. Sounds pretty good to me, or sounds like a step up for a lot of people if that was the case. So we have earth, and then we have wood or wind, and so that's yin, yang, yang. So I'm just going to do that again. Yin, yang, yang. Huh. Yin, yang. Huh. It's interesting. Another thing to think about with this is, because this is it's so polar, is it's kind of like a decision tree. It's like you might think of it like no, yes, yes, or yes, no, yes, or that kind of a decision, but also how the mind predicts outcomes, how it sees itself, how it sees other minds or other experiences, and how it predicts its own movement and the movement of others. And so one gets to play with. So this is me, if it's like waiting and then acting, or waiting and then action or engagement. And then you could do wood and wood, and so it's like, and then back to wood. And then interesting, wood over lake. So you have, what is that? Oh, interesting. Okay. So now fire. Fire is actually the most fun, really, for me, or at least for this insight as I'm developing it. Again, this is this is beyond basic. If ever there was a blank slate, this is the blank fucking slate. Like, oh, I don't even know if this is wisdom. How is that for wisdom? It's so basic. It's beyond basic. So it's engage, yin, engage. And pardon the movement, pardon that it's not the same every time or anything. But yeah, so engagement. So engagement, yin, standing corpse pose, rest, engagement. And then for me, that's fire, or well, that's what it's a depiction of in the I Ching, is fire. And so what that shows me is, it's like fire, there's engagement, and then there's stillness inside of fire, and then there's engagement. And so in all the action that's happening, that's unfolding, we're all coming into engagement, or we're all coming into stillness at the center. And then different from that, and this is what I opened with, is that water is, stillness, and then engagement, and then stillness. And so there's action inside of water, and then there's stillness inside of fire. And that's like kind of a fun polarity to work with. And then again, it's like the movement shows the yang and the yin, is there's no way, there's it's not even philosophical at that point. It's literally embodiment. And it's not embodiment like, did you get the idea of it? It's like, literally, that's what it is. Like, are you paused? Okay. Are you engaged? Are you paused? Boom. You can feel your body, your nervous system, your cerebral cortex, or your cerebellum, and arbor vitae, the part of you that is doing all of the different motion control for the body, which has the same amount of connections as the entire brain, the entire upper brain, and I think even limbic system. So all of that, many connections, as our entire, what we think of as the thinking mind, that many connections are involved in processing action, stillness, action. And so that is a part of our thinking mind. And so we get to begin to experience, oh, here's this element, and it doesn't even have it has a value, but its value isn't even my understanding of it. Its value is that I have known in awareness the embodiment of it, but not as like I don't know, the fantasies that people have in their heads. Oh, I can't even address that subject. But so this next one is lake, and so this is the last one, and so this is, and I honestly, this one's interesting. So it's yang, yang, yin, yang, yang, yin. Huh. I don't know about this one. So I don't really have much of a commentary. I think that just kind of clicks it for me. But yeah, I'll probably go more in depth as things continue to reveal themselves. Because lake's a little confusing for me. Yeah, it's very active. And then it's passive. Yeah, well, if you care to follow along, go for it. Here's the trigrams, all 8 of them. Ding, 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 ding. Screenshot this. So here we go. I guess do it in whatever order. The inside lines are the base lines, and then they go out. So those are the trigrams. That's just my going through yin and yang with the poses. See how that feels.